My name is Bill Suter, and I'm speaking to you from Lake Anna, Virginia. Joe Spurlock has been a friend of mine for over 50 years. We met when we were junior officers in the Army at Fort Richardson, Alaska, and as luck would have it, our townhouses, government quarters, were next to each other. His wife and my wife were Texans. Joe was a Texan, and I was a transplanted Texan from Kentucky. I'd gone to college in San Antonio and met my wife there, and we married, and I became a Texan. So it's interesting that the Spurlocks and Suters next door to each other for 3 years. Both of our wives were teachers. Joe and I were both lawyers. No children at the time, so we had time to not only do our work, but to have some fun. We had interesting times up there. We were in the Good Friday earthquake together, 1964, the largest earthquake in North American history, 9.2 on the Richter scale. Joe was active in the Army's mission to provide supplies, medical supplies, food, and shelter to civilians and military personnel during that crisis. Joe and all the soldiers did a fantastic job, and they really asked no credit for it. They saved lives and considered it another day at work. We not only worked hard, but we had fun. The Spurlocks and Suters did a lot of things together. We camped, we hunted, we fished, we skied, and generally took advantage of all the great things that go on in Alaska. It was a great time for us, and when our tours were ending, Joe was going to return to civilian life to practice law in Fort Worth, but he got orders to go to Vietnam. Joe and I researched the matter and concluded that the Army had no authority to do this. Joe, though, very wisely said, they can't make me do it, but I'm going to do it because I'm ordered to do so. And that was typical of Joe. Perform your duties and don't ask questions. So he went to Vietnam and served his time there, and again, did very well as he did in all of his assignments. Sorry about the dogs barking. We are at our lake house. Joe would understand. In fact, Joe would laugh about it. Joe had a great sense of humor and liked a practical joke. We played tricks on each other constantly in Alaska and always had fun doing it. Joe went on in his life, as you know, to be a legislator, a practicing a lawyer, a judge, and his last assignment was helping build a law school and becoming a prominent and a favorite professor of many, many students, and a friend of the faculty and everyone else. After I'd retired from the Army, and during the time I was still in the Army, Joe and I communicated with each other frequently. And after I retired and worked at the U.S. Supreme Court, Joe visited several times with his friends and associates, and I kept in touch with what he was doing in Mongolia and other places. Joe was just a remarkable person in every respect. He loved his family, he loved his nation, he loved the military, he loved the law, and he loved teaching. Joe's gone and will be missed by all of us. But I can say with all sincerity, Joe made his mark in his life, and he lived a life worthwhile. So to my old friend Joe Spurlock, farewell, Joe.